Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Mujahid Hussain. Today I am calling in my program Dr. Hashimi about this affordable housing. You know, this in Toronto, the prices of the houses are rising like something which is multiple rise in the prices of living. So Dr. Hashimi, he has a good study in that regard, and he has some suggestions in this regard. So today I have called him to discuss this, how can we make it affordable, this housing livings. So welcome, Dr. Hashimi.
Thank you, Brother Mujahid. Very interesting topic, again, very near to my focus for a number of years, quote-unquote affordable housing. As you and many Canadians know, that there is a Ministry of Housing in this country. I know about it for the past 20-25 years because I presided the Housing Help Center in Aurora. It is a non-for-profit organization which I was sitting on the board of directors. We attracted some $80,000 a year for 3 years to establish it. We prepared the database for those who would like to move to the York region by contacting the landlords, and in those years there were some vacancies, meaning that if we had 100 apartments in one area, at least 3 or 4 apartments were vacant. When the vacancy rate is so high, the rent is low. Why? Because the tenant would like to reside in a unit which is quote-unquote affordable. The landlord won't boost the rent for him, you see, too much to an extent where he cannot afford it. So that center, I sat on the board of directors. We had a monthly meeting. We used to help the people who used to step in searching for affordable housing. We provided them with the vacancies and all those things. But as you know, the reality, as Brother Mujahid indicated now, is totally different. The 3 to 4% vacancy rate now dipped down to below 1%. The statistics tells you it is only 0.7%, meaning out of 100 rental units, only less than 1 unit is vacant for a particular month. With such high demand on the rent, you can imagine how the tenants have difficulty to find a place which is affordable and manageable by their budget. Leave alone the ownership of the house, meaning buying a house, the topic which I'll talk about in a minute. So briefly put, this supply and demand does not only control the price of the house for ownership, but also dictates the rate of rental monthly payments by the tenants, because the landlords, like the condominium owner in West End, now he is charging $16.50 because he heard that the government is going to put a cap for the rent. He sent letters to the tenants telling them, next year you pay $3,300 a month per unit you are occupying, meaning 100% increase in one jump, because he is trying to play the trick with the government in order not to suffer from the capping the government is putting on him. This is greed-driven things which we are fighting. Now the question, to help Brother Mujahid and other benevolent brothers who are trying to serve the community, what to do in such scenarios. So now I put the people who are in need of housing into two categories. Either they are tenants searching for affordable rental, and I explained about my experience in helping housing center in Aurora, an office on the left side, Young Street, Wellington and Young area. I served the community for those who wanted to come from different cities in that capacity, so I have a lot to share. For this program, I guess this is the sufficient information the organizers in the community should know, that they need database, they need contact, they need to know what is the rate of vacancies and all those things. Let me swiftly move from this to the ownership, the option of buying an affordable residence. For that, in episode 1, again, we spoke about the importance of pooling the resources. The example of building 40, preferably 100 units, is always much better than building individual units. So if the community can devise such a plan to attract the RRSP of the people, their hard-earned savings, and procure a land, and then find a developer, find the Muslim contractors or even non-Muslims who know how to do the job and do good service and render the key on time, bring them on, give them the project, get the project done on time, and make sure to have that project completed. But for the completion, you need to observe all the elements needed. It's not only the procurement of the land, it is the permit from the municipal government. For example, this meeting room in which we are, the Ja'fari Housing Company wanted to build 40 units on a parking lot which was pretty small. I remember one of the councillors in the municipality of Richmond Hill once met me. He told me the application is for 40 units, but we are not going to give the Ja'fari Housing Center more than 24 units. I guess they ended up with building 24 to 28 units in this building out of 40. And the units, if you go and visit them, second, third, fourth floor here, you see them, they are tiny. I cannot imagine how the size would have been if they have established 40 units here. Now with the 28, they are tiny. But the point here is the permit. As you know, the price tag for the rental is attached with the number of units you have, and the number of units determine the cost of the building, and all these need to be worked out after getting the permit from the government, because you cannot go against the bylaws of this country. You cannot build on your own property a building without following the both technical as well as the legal considerations. So to getting the permits, sometimes you need to fight because there are town hall meetings. The neighbors should agree. Those who are in process have to be very patient. I remember this community, as well as another Iraqi man who has a personal property, took very many Muslims to the town hall meetings of the municipalities of Richmond Hill and Markham in order to get the permit. Because sometimes if you want to build on a rural land you possess, the Canadian farmer comes and tells the government, these Muslims, for example, I'm saying this as a funny thing, make wudu. When they make wudu, they consume lots of water, and we need the water for agriculture. So for him, the well water is more important for agriculture, but of course for us, the water has a dual effect. It has a cleansing effect at the spiritual level. We cannot go to pray without making ablution, as well as removing the physical dirt, as well as providing the quenching our body needs, because 70% of our body is made of water. I mentioned only the water because it is related to the land, and you cannot construct a project if you don't have, for example, source of water. Either the municipality water has to reach you to depend on it for drinking, washing machines and what have you, or you need to rely on the wells, and of course there are other regulations which you need to abide to, what have you. So all these details dictate on you to have some sort of environmental studies. We have a number of professionals, including myself, in this field who are experienced engineers who can assess the water table, its suitability for drinking, if you need to put filtration, how much it costs you, and all those details, because you need to have either ion exchange or reverse osmosis to purify the what we call brackish water, well water. So, as you know, water is something, and then the electricity line is another thing, because you are not going to a minute area to build these houses. You need them to be close to cities and what have you. So when you break down all these technical, I'm not going to go into details of the technical aspects, you make a chart for yourself. What do you need? Permit from the municipal government. Make sure that there is transportation. Make sure there is drinking water. Make sure there is electricity. When you look at these parameters, the organizers realize that yes, this parcel of land is suitable, or it is not suitable now, it will be suitable in 5 years' time. So it depends on their planning for the procurement, because buying it today, it has one price tag, and buying it 5 years down the line has a different price tag. In this regard, I mentioned one piece of property at Stouffville and Leslie area, namely 1380, which is the Islamic Society of York region, run by our good friend Zafar Bengash from Pakistan. This property, Ihsan Muslim Heritage Society wanted to purchase it. It belonged to an Iraqi Christian, and the property was an old club, 32 acres of land at the intersection stated above. The man, the owner, wanted $1 million for it. He put it for 2 weeks at a time in which the market was the buyer's market, not seller's market. He didn't get any offer. He reduced it from 1 million to 900. At that time, our society was interested in it. I went to the municipal government, took all the documents for the procurement of that land in order to hopefully down the line establish some sort of affordable housing Brother Mujahid referred to. But when I contacted the owner via phone, he told me there is another Muslim organization is interested in this. Had our Muslim organization competed with the sister organization, that Iraqi Christian would have pocketed easily the $100,000 reduction he made. He would have reverted back to 1 million and sold it to us because we are competing. I did not compete as a sign of self-sacrifice. I spoke to him in Arabic. He was an Iraqi Christian. I told him, this is my phone number. If the sister organization entered an agreement with you, it is theirs. But if their offer is not acceptable to you, give me a call. I do have an offer for you. I left the matter a few weeks, and then I followed up. I heard that Brother Zafar Bangash's group purchased the land. That land now, at that time, instead of 900, they negotiated and they purchased it for $840,000. Just imagine 32 acres of land at Stouffville, northwest corner of Stouffville and Leslie Road in Richmond Hill. After the extension of Bayview, which came a year or less after the purchase of that land, the land appreciated, and now it is my wild guess it's worth $8 million, if not $10 million. They have done some renovations and what have you, and they have used part of the land to the west of end of the property to build some senior homes. Recently, I visited the area, and I guess now it is being completed. But alhamdulillah, that Muslim organization could achieve something. It is a role model. Any Muslim organization, and I invite Brother Mujahid to go and have interview with Brother Zafar Bangash on this to get the details. I'm sure he will be generous enough to share his experiences with us, because it will benefit the whole wide Muslim community to get them as exemplary example, as a pattern to follow, how to procure the land, how to make fundraising events, how to pay the mortgage as soon as possible, and then how to go about permits from the government to build on rural land, because this is rural land and you need what is called rezoning. Rezoning, moving the title from rural to residential. You cannot do it by yourself. You need permit from the government, but you need to make your choice right by choosing the right location, which is accessible to the community. That way, the organizers who have been here 30, 40 years, they have paid back what they owe to this community, which put them in the leadership position. Otherwise, living in ivory towers and enjoying good salaries and only delivering sermons and preaching without any benefit, this, as you know, the Iranians call khushki muqaddas. Khushki muqaddas means they are highly sacred, but they are dry. They have no water transmitted to others. Water is the sustenance, is the basics of life, as we all know. So the point here is, let us benefit from our community active leaders. Let us have interviews with those who have vast experience in this field in order to choose the land at the right time, apply for rezoning, have a blueprint, know the number of units needed, establish them at cost, sell them at marginal benefit, which covers only the administration and what have you. This is called non-for-profit housing, which could provide some sort of affordable housing. Otherwise, the properties are in the hand of the mafia in this country. They impose whatever they would like. And one statistic Brother Mujahid showed me one time, when you build in a collective way, you automatically save 40% of the construction cost. So if you can provide yourself 50% on the land price, 40% on the construction price, you can easily buy the dream house of $1 million for 500, if not even less than that price tag, between 500,000 and 600,000 max. Still, the 600,000 you pay is much better than the $1 million you pay when you go alone and enter into this market. I hope these little practical experiences and observations were beneficial to two groups in my audiences. One, targeted group, the organizers, who must think strategically and widen their horizons about the needs in such projects. And two, the majority, who are the beneficiaries, who don't have such high technical expertise and or practical experiences, which comes only by sitting on the board of directors of housing projects. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين وسبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hashmi, with brainy quotes and thoughtful speech. I think it's the need of the time that we come together. Dr. Hashmi's team and the other people are working hard on this project and topic so that we can make the people community to think about what is in their benefit. So thank you very much, Dr. Hashmi, for your time and the useful tips you provided to us all. Thank you.